Welcome everyone to CONNSTEP's Operations Coaching webinar, where I'm going to talk today on how CONNSTEP can help your organization identify opportunities you have in your shop floor operations and how we can assist you one-on-one with coaching. My name is Wayne Pegalo. I am the Continuous Improvement Consultant for CONNSTEP. I've been with CONNSTEP for 2 years, but my experience with lean manufacturing is over 25 years. I've worked with numerous consultants in the past, and I am here today to give you a brief little intro about an experience that I once had in my career. I had the opportunity of actually working with a retired lean consultant from United Technologies, and he was able to work side by side with me for several months, coaching me on lean manufacturing practices. It was absolutely the best training I ever received compared to all the lean seminars I had attended and many of the books that I've read before that had happened. I'll tell you this, there's nothing better than having actual hands-on one-on-one coaching from an experienced professional. So today we're going to talk about how CONNSTEP can help you using the teach-do approach. So we're going to start by working with an operations or continuous improvement manager to identify issues that are having a negative impact on operations. We're going to coach by helping to prioritize and identify issues and collaborates with the manager on a process to overcome them. Conducted by using a series of on-site partial day visits. And we're going to determine practical solutions with the ops or CI manager and apply process improvement methods and approaches and tools. So lean journeys, let's talk about if you're embarking on a current lean journey or if you have in the past. So lean journeys, they often start with lots of excitement and energy. And usually that happens up front with the leadership team. And then it starts to get dwindled down into the employees out on the shop floor. But only about 5% of our clients are actually able to sustain the gains that they've been through when going on their lean journey. And we see this happen all the time. 5% are able to sustain it, and over time, lean training and the implementation that we've done with our clients begins to backslide. So what are some reasons of that 5%? So let me tell you some experiences that I've had over the years and why only 5% are able to sustain those gains. The first thing is that clients don't have a dedicated resource like a continuous improvement manager on board to oversee all the continuous improvement and lean initiatives that are going to take place. Smaller companies, they just don't have the bench support and the bandwidth to be able to support that and to succeed. The second thing is business owners and management leaders themselves, they may lack that solid understanding of what's really involved when embarking on a lean continuous improvement journey. To them, it might just be another project that they can delegate down to a quality manager, an operations manager, or a manufacturing manager because they think it falls underneath their umbrella of responsibilities. What these business leaders really need to understand is that lean implementation, it's not a project. It's an ongoing journey that they will be embarking on every day, and it takes an enormous amount of time to be successful at it. So let's talk about CONNSTEP's approach. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to work one-on-one with your operations or continuous improvement manager. Very similar to what I did with the retired lean consultant that I worked with from United Technologies, one-on-one. Now, typically, we're going to conduct 6 4-hour sessions on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. If additional sessions are needed, we will discuss that because there may be at times where we need additional sessions to complete a task that we were focused on. Now, here's the expected outcome. It's going to be a resolution of the issues impacting operations performance while acquiring knowledge on applicable tools, approaches, and methodologies. So in session 1, we're just gathering information. So some of the different categories that we're looking for when we start gathering this information is, number 1, what are your current performance issues? And I always like to start off with, what are your customer complaints? Let's focus on that first. What's your on-time delivery? What are some of your quality issues that you have? How about scrap, staffing issues, your training, and then capacity? So these are just some of the things that we want to get an understanding on as to where you are. As many of you know, you get what you measure. So it's important to make sure that we're going to address some of the key metrics that you have for your organization. The next thing we want to look at is, let's talk about your organization structure. Do you have an org chart? If not, maybe we should take a look at it and maybe see if we can establish one. Because it's going to be important to know that when we look at your org chart, where does the CI responsibility, where does it fall under? As an example, if you look at the org chart we have here, does CI fall under operations? Is it under marketing? Is it under finance? Where does it fall if you don't have a CI manager in place? We also want to look at this because it might help us to understand, where do we need to focus some of our attention with some of the lean initiatives that we want to go after. We also need to talk about, so let's talk about your culture, your organization culture, understanding the business owner's commitment toward this continuous improvement initiative. We need to understand, who are your lean leaders? Do you have employees who have this knowledge and have been through lean manufacturing with other companies that they might have worked with? A lot of times we go through this and we don't even know who these employees are, because maybe they're the ones that we can use to help drive it. And we also need to talk about how we redeploy employees through continuous improvement activities. One of the things in CI and Lean is, as we make continuous improvements, we need to make a statement that this will not involve layoffs, that we will redeploy employees to other activities. So as an example, there are some business owners and their management team think that they're a very lean organization because they have just reduced their headcount and they can still produce the same volume of work and still meet their customer demand and on-time delivery. Well, people who are familiar with and have experienced the Toyota production system will tell you that if you're embarking on a lean journey, you will not reduce your headcount because of continuous improvements that you have made. You will redeploy them to other areas of the business. Lean does not stand for, quote, less employees are needed. So some businesses follow the TPS approach by actually drafting a document and having the business owner or the president sign that document stating that the organization will not lay off any employee because of continuous improvement activities. This is a very important function to do as far as changing the culture of your organization when you're looking to go towards lean. Another thing we need to talk about in session 1 is skill set development, right? Does the ownership, does the leadership team, do they have the knowledge and the experience of continuous improvement and lean manufacturing concepts? It's important that they do, and not just the people down out on the shop floor. Shop floor employees also need knowledge and skill sets, but they don't necessarily have to have it. But again, it is good to find out who's been through this before with other companies. And then we need to do cross-training development, right? Those people who have never gone through lean manufacturing, we need to do some training with them so that they at least get a baseline and know what's expected down the road. So again, some business owners or presidents, they feel they don't need the training to fully understand the lean concepts of continuous improvement, because they feel that they have a continuous improvement manager or a resource that's in place who knows it all. He's the guru. But yet, if they don't support the CI manager with what they are trying to accomplish, then the organization doesn't meet its objective and its potential. Additional information that we need to gather in session 1 is understanding your current manufacturing practices. Are you doing any of these tools that we have listed here? Things such like 5S, standard work, workflow issues, quality control inspections, your shop floor scheduling. How's your purchasing of inventory and supplies? Do you measure first pass yields? And do you have an employee suggestion program? Or how do you get the employees engaged with coming up with their suggestions for opportunities for improvement? So we'll need to talk about that as well. We also need to talk about what are some of the additional company goals and objectives that you need to achieve. Things like customer certifications. How about ISO? If you're ISO certified, what do you need to do to maintain certification for that? If you're aerospace or you're automotive, what do you need to do to sustain your certifications for that? Also, there are things like government contracts and OSHA compliance. Do you have any OSHA compliance or regulations involved with OSHA? Okay, so those are some other things that we will briefly discuss as well. Now, sessions 2 through 5, this is the focus in these sessions is addressing the pain points that we discussed in the first session. So this is where the hands-on one-on-one coaching really comes into play with either myself or someone else from CONNSTEP working side by side the person that you have selected for us to work with to really determining those priorities and what we need to look at. So as an example, let's say we talk about customer complaints and you have a few of them that we need to address. Maybe that's where we start. Okay, maybe we do some 5 whys and get really drilled down to get to the root cause as to why you're having these customer complaints and how can we fix them so that they do not reoccur. Okay, so again, sessions 2 through 5 are very action oriented and really hands-on working with the manager that you've selected to work with us. Now, as we go through sessions 2 through 5, there may be some of these lean tools that we may use to help support that lean culture that you are trying to establish. So this is just called the House of Lean. And again, we say that leadership is the leadership team is the one that's really going to set the culture, which is you see is the foundation for the house, sets the culture, and that your operations team is the one that are going to set and establish those tool blocks that you see to help assist with the culture that management is looking to achieve. So again, the House of Lean, you may be using some of these tools now here and there, but we'll take a look at that and see what proper tool applies to the pain points that we're looking to address. The last session in session 6 is what we call just a project closeout presentation. So the CONNSTEP coach is going to work with your ops or your CI manager, and we're going to put together a presentation for the business owner and the leadership team that's going to detail the progress that we made in resolving the identified issues. We're also going to talk about what are the appropriate next steps that needs to be addressed, including any potential continued assistance by CONNSTEP if needed. So again, as an example, as we get through sessions 2 through 5, and we feel that we may need to add an extra session or two to help complete and close out one of the tasks that we were working on, we'll sit down and we'll discuss it at session 6. So I would like to thank you for your time. And for more information on how operations coaching can help you improve your shop floor operations, you can email us at info@constep.org. That's info@constep.org. Once again, thank you for your time.